sit here and do intros and shit like that? Like,
3 seconds all the time you
I
need,
believe we are live.
Oh,
We
we're
are
live?
live. We are
Well, if I
live.
was on Twitch, I would have known that, but apparently it's Monday night, motherfuckers, and welcome to the Degenerates with Dice Monday Night RPG podcast, live in living color from the bowels of the air. That's Spaceman coming to you live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, the only time zone that's real and or matters. I almost didn't fuck that up, but I caught myself.
Thank
Ladies
you,
and gentlemen.
Megan Perknitz for the follow.
Hell yeah. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Joe.
Howdy, everybody.
We got Zoe.
Woo!
We got Kristen.
That's me.
We got Nelly. And the internet's favorite dipshit, me. How the fuck are we doing, boys and girls?
We're right.
I'm alive.
We alright? We alive?
We here.
I'm not logged into Twitch. That's why I didn't get a fucking notification.
Oh my god, you suck.
I know.
We're live on Twitch and YouTube.
Ooh.
For your convenience. So today we're talking about the future of D&D. It's looking kind of bleak, to be perfectly honest. And then GM player expectations. So, what if you're a game master, storyteller, whatever you want to call yourself, what are your actual expectations for your players, and what are realistic expectations for your players?
You're three sessions in and don't know how to play or kick the fuck out.
Yeah. What's that?
Realistic expectations? No, thank you. Gaming?
Gaming ones. Who wants to go first?
Mass Effect has taken over my life. I finished Mass Effect 2 in a fucking week. I'm on Mass Effect 3. I had to take some days off because my fucking wrist is killing me, bro. Like,
that's a wrong podcast.
Yes. So
hey, yo,
so
you speak two languages too?
Straight up. So I'm having some serious. I am loving the story that has been developing in the game thus far. Like, I feel so grumpy. I feel so committed compared to how it was in Mass Effect 1, where I was like, I don't really give a shit about anything that happens in this. Like, none of this is fun. Mass Effect 2, suddenly I was like, I die? Spoiler alert if you've never played Mass Effect. And then now I'm on Mass Effect 3 and I'm living my best life and I'm sitting here and I'm just like, okay. It felt really forced in Mass Effect 2 when I romanced Garrus, but I was like, fuck it. Kaiden's being an asshole. In Mass Effect 1, it felt kind of natural to romance Kaiden. Now that both of them are potential romanceables, and it is the fact that they are both, like, the writing for some reason is on point with them, I'm, like, struggling. So, and that's all you guys know. I need romance to make me feel happy in a game. And I'm struggling. I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I love the fighting mechanics in Mass Effect 3. It is so good. I've never used the assault weapons before. Typically I'm like a pistol and shotgun girly, and now I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. So I'm living my best life. Straight up. I literally have been thinking about, if I never have to replay Mass Effect 1, could I just replay Mass Effect 2 and 3 for the rest of my life and be happy? And I'm like, yeah. Straight up. I am terrified for how Mass Effect is going to end because I was told that you play a different character in Mass Effect Andromeda. And I'm just like, I love Shepard. Why would you take Shepard away from me?
Zoe?
Uh-huh.
I keep freezing.
Just take some advice from your buddy old pal here.
Mm-hmm. Don't play Andromeda. That's what I've heard. I've heard a lot of people.
It's not a real game. It doesn't exist.
I've heard a lot of people say that Andromeda is like bad.
That was the beginning of BioWare killing off all their franchises single-handedly.
See, but a lot of people didn't like Veilguard, and I really liked it. I was a fan. So
That one person did.
yeah, like, but I mean, I love Dragon Age with all my heart and soul. So that's just me. But I'm done talking because I can yip yap forever.
Not you. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Do
Do
it.
I played AD&D this weekend. It was fun. As usual, we killed a bunch of stuff, haggled a bunch of stuff, insulted a king, all good stuff. Yeah. Got Rifts on Thursday. I'm excited about that. I got Twilight 2000 on Wednesday. We got a new player. I'm excited to meet them. But that's about it.
Hell yeah.
Woo woo!
I like it. Natalie, what about you?
And hopefully I'll be running Avatar Legends soon.
All right.
Not really much going on. I am burnt out on Fallout fishing. It
I'm
makes
so
me hate life.
overfishing.
I am so pissed off. I had maxed out everything on the stupid fishing rod, and still the legends evade me, and it pisses me the fuck off every
still the
time I
Martian.
lose one.
So,
So I'm honestly at the point where I'm like, I think I need to take a step away and play, like, just go to Minecraft and just do mind numbing.
anything else?
I would love to
I just need to find a
Minecraft.
cave and just disappear for a while.
I would love
Literally.
to play Minecraft.
Oh, it's so good.
I've never played Minecraft.
Oh,
Never
you've
played
played
Minecraft?
Minecraft?
No, they
Don't
only
start. You
bought-
won't finish Mass Effect.
So my family bought Minecraft for my brother, and he never let me sign on to his account because he said I would, quote, ruin it. And I was just like, okay. And so I'm just like, I would love to learn how to play Minecraft one of these days.
If you play in like creative mode, oh, it's so chill.
Listen,
There was a solid like month and a half pre-coach where Kristen would snap me every day and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd just go, "Minecraft."
Minecraft.
straight up, like, I've been told that because I love The Sims, I would love Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And for
want
me,
it. I
like,
want it so bad.
I
You'll get
only
lost.
play it like maybe 4 times a year, and then I binge it for like 3 weeks, and then I don't touch it for like another 4 months.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It's like a weird addiction. Binge and purge.
Yeah.
Binge and purge.
But yeah, that was my thing.
Oh, no.
Going
Thanks,
in and out. Okay.
Oh no.
thanks, Grumpy. My friends and I are playing Baldur's Gate 3,
That's right.
and we're actually like
We are?
not well, different friends, not you, friend.
How dare.
Don't look at me like that.
Is that better? I turned the
sound-
gain a bunch.
You sound good.
Yeah.
Good. Fantastic.
You sound hotter, but not like your face.
Hey, you see that? See that? Hell yeah, bro.
And then, I got this book I'm reading.
Oh yeah.
Proactive role playing.
How's that going?
Interesting.
I'm this far into it, so I don't know yet. I'm literally in the intro.
What is it about?
It's the Game Master's Handbook of Proactive Role Playing to basically spice up and kickstart role playing for sale sessions. So I want to see what I can do to keep, because I'm all about like the cadence of a game. So I want to see
Yeah.
how this helps.
Ooh,
That's what
I think
I'm
I've seen one, but it's for like writing.
Oh, right.
Where it's like writing, but it's for like authors, and it's like the proactive author's guide or something like that. And it's like, this is how you can say that he was angry, and it's like a different versions of saying like he did this, he did that, and it's like these are different encounters you can do. And I was interested in getting that book. So tell me how that one goes, and I might consider buying that other book.
Like, real fast, the chapters are, part 1 is like creating proactive characters. So chapter 1 is character goals, chapter 2 is factions, chapter 3 is NPCs, then there's locations, conflict, rewards, encounters, plundering, and then there's a one-shot at the end. So
Ooh.
I'm interested to see how this goes, just because I like to, again, y'all know me and y'all know how I play, that I like to keep the cadence of the game going. So I want to see if it helps with the role play or the see if I can glean something off of it that's useful. So that's where we're at.
There you go. Noah, how about you?
Noah's crossed the 100-hour mark in Dune Awakening and has a problem.
I'm gonna hold on. Let me text Will and see if he knows how many hours he's logged.
I
The
can't
spice
stop playing
must
Dune
flow.
Awakening. Wait,
Spice
is
must
Will
flow.
playing Dune?
Will has been playing Dune since the day it's come out.
Okay, so they fixed server visiting so he can come and build and keep stuff that he finds. So we should play Dune because we need
He
more
doesn't
people.
want to make a new character.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to.
Okay.
They fixed it. You can visit other servers now.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask him how many hours you got in Dune, bro.
Yeah,
This
if
is
you
how-
wanna play
This is how I text my
Dune with
boyfriend.
Noah,
Yeah, Noah's been playing a ton of Dune.
if you join our Discord, you can play Dude with Noah because he's posted the,
Oh yeah.
Oh
the
yes.
server that he's on in there.
I have. I do be doing this stuff. I'm on
Yeah.
there. Our population is slowly dwindling thanks to people like me. Don't come to my spice field, motherfucker.
Also,
I will
Steam is
drop
having
grease you straight into a fucking worm mouth.
Steam is having their summer sale, and I'm about to buy like the last bit of the Assassin's Creed games that I'm missing, except for like maybe like one or two.
You
So,
should, is Last of Us on sale? If it is, you should pick that up.
I've already played The Last of Us. You kidding me?
Okay,
Fuck that. I've played that. I was waiting in line for The Last of Us Part 2 to drop, baby. Straight up. I played that. Like, I called off work to play that shit.
That's a good thing to say on the internet.
I got laid off the day before Part 2 dropped, so
Oh, that's perfect.
it wasn't that bad.
Oh, straight up.
I was like, damn, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Oh yeah,
I
I'm not go to bed
love-
tonight so I can play Last of Us all fucking night.
Listen, I
How convenient.
wasn't prepared for them killing Joe. I was sitting in there. I was playing. Will left me alone.
Hashtag spoilers.
Right?
If you haven't played The Last of Us Part 2 at this point, it came out in what, 2020? So like that's 5 years ago. That's not spoiler alert at this point. It's 5
that was-
years.
That was peak gaming. That was fucking Doom Eternal, Animal Crossing, and
Yeah.
fucking Last of Us Part 2 in the same
Yeah.
month.
Next year,
Straight up.
Leonardo DiCaprio dies in Titanic.
He
Straight
does?
up. My gosh, guys. Stop spoiling movies for me.
My bad.
No, but apparently there's a second Titanic and Jack is alive. So,
As it should be.
yeah. Have you guys not heard about that? That there was a second Titanic that came out and it's
No,
like
now
lesser
we came back at
known or
one
some
time.
shit. There's like, I thought I heard about this. And then he was like, he like time traveled or some shit like that. And he's
Good.
like
I
now
like
in
this.
like, it's
I
not
like
like,
this version much better.
Hold on. I feel like I was like gaslit. Is there a second Titanic?
Listen, everybody wants to get on here now and talk about toxic masculinity, okay? But all of us that y'all are talking about watched fucking Titanic and watched her say, "There's no way, sorry, die. I know you tried to save me, but die."
There was
Do you ever think maybe there's a reason?
Okay, so it was a mockbuster. So I was gaslit.
Mm-hmm.
I was gaslit. But the way that it went was that they found Jack. And basically they like put him in like a museum or something, and then they thawed him, and then he came alive, and he was like looking
Stop.
gross.
That's man.
Like
I love it.
straight up, like I was like, I would have paid to see that.
Like she just described the plot to Encino Man.
Also, another top 10 movie. I'm just saying.
Well, I feel
Not as good as
awful now.
Biodome, but it's pretty fucking good.
I feel awful. Holy
What happened to
shit,
Paul
Will
Rudd?
has almost 200 hours.
Dude, it's a fucking problem.
Straight up, he comes home, he plays, then he goes to bed. He'll sleep for maybe 4 hours, wake up, start playing again. As soon as, like, I guarantee you tomorrow, because he has 2 days off. The next, this is his weekend, Tuesday and Wednesday. He's gonna be playing all day, and that's all he's gonna be doing.
Dude,
And-
I went to bed last night, set the refinery, and then woke up this morning, logged back in so that I could collect the resource and then reset the refinery with the next level of resource. It's a problem.
Okay, so what is it? They fixed the thing about server movement?
Server visiting. But yeah, no, that's my gaming rant. I've just been playing way too much fucking Dune because I have a problem and I can't stop.
If anyone hasn't noticed, Noah hyperfixates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not.
Wow.
What? No, don't you fucking call me out.
And water is wet.
Water is not wet. Water is water.
Oh, here we fucking go.
Breaking the fourth wall, I definitely may or may not have fucking spiraled out of control the other night in a hyperfixation and assaulted the group chat with it.
Listen, that's
And
just
everybody
how
ignored it,
be.
thank God.
That is
It's
just
just like,
how
yep,
it
that's
be.
Noah.
No one knew how to respond.
I would love to play Dune Eternal, but I'm currently on the Mass Effect grind. So, like, I'm even considering, like, as soon as I'm done Mass Effect 3, replaying Mass Effect again and making a different romance choice just to see what the difference is.
Oh, geez.
Listen, like, straight up. And the fact that I'm sitting there and I've gotten so good at figuring out voice actors because I'm noticing a lot of games and a lot of game companies like to use the same voice actors. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh my God, it's Brian Bloom because he voices Varric and I'm obsessed with him. And I was sitting there and I was listening and I was talking with James because we were on Pavellin. That was just where we were on the moon. And I was listening to James talk and I was like, holy fuck, that's Iron Bull. And I was like, is Freddie Prinze Jr. James in Mass Effect 3? And they were like, yes, he's the voice actor. And I was like, motherfucker, I can clock that shit a mile away. It's like finding Matthew Mercer in a video game. Like, you just feel proud of yourself.
What the
That's
fuck?
not how I remember Freddie.
Well,
But okay.
And that's how I feel. Whenever I can find a voice actor I know, I feel really proud.
so, should we talk about our first topic?
We can.
Yes. Yes.
So, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago a little bit with Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins leaving D&D, and now the VP has also left, and they laid off like 3% of their staff. What the hell is happening at Wizards? And,
They
what
have to
is
pay
the
the
possible... Yeah, they have to pay Pinkertons. Like, what's the possible ramifications of this? Because obviously Hasbro is divesting in D&D.
I'll buy it. I
I
get
don't
paid
think
a
he can
couple hours,
afford
I'll
it.
buy it.
The thing is, it's not for sale. They will own it indefinitely. But I mean, I know we were talking. I was talking with Matt earlier about this, and he thinks, based on what Dungeons Discourse, which is a great YouTube channel you should check out. She's Irish, so you'll like her voice as she's talking because it's a funny accent. She's kind of just said that they're going to put it on ice for the next 10 years and do the bare minimum. And, hopefully the nostalgia of D&D will kick back in and they'll start making stuff again. But until then, they're just kind of like throwing it away and saying, oh, well.
It'll pop back off in November. Stranger Things is coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna pop off again.
I don't think it will.
You don't think it's gonna pop off?
No, I think
Maybe
people
not
are playing
the
are going to
extent the
play.
first time.
No, yeah, it's not going to pop off like season 1. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of new people.
But Joe, what if they end the game and then the camera fucking zooms out and they were just playing D&D the whole time?
Straight up, if that's how they finished it, that's
won't
the
change
perfect way.
sales. I'm going to be blunt, just say it won't change sales because in order to watch season 4, you had to watch season 1, and season 1 is what got everybody excited.
Yeah.
At this
true.
point,
It's
it's not
already.
Yeah, they've already saturated that market.
Wait, I have a
And
question.
so, what's up?
How long has Hasbro owned?
Since I don't know. Like Wizards is owned.
Hold on.
No, Wizards is owned it since like the early '90s, but I'm not sure how long Hasbro has owned Wizards.
How long has
That's gonna affect my
Hasbro
answer.
owned- since September 1999?
Oh,
Okay.
okay, then never
A
mind.
little bit.
So as old as my brother.
Jesus.
So 26 years.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
And it's if you know their business model, it ebbs and flows. Like I was around for fourth edition, and they really didn't do much for fourth edition. They put out a decent amount of books, but they didn't really push it or anything like that. They're just like, if you want it, it's there. And meanwhile, Pathfinder kind of took a large chunk of their revenue, and that also leads to the OGL thing.
what do you say?
I'll post it.
Okay, so my opinion. You want my opinion on this?
Mhm.
Yeah.
My opinion is okay. So they have had it, and I think it was just kind of like a in their back pocket situation because the base clientele is always going to be the base clientele. Like that's not going to change. But
the base clientele is dropping off
Right.
rapidly.
because we're old. And
How dare.
what I said. I said what I said.
Bitch!
But here's the thing: whenever they did not take advantage when Stranger Things came out and the boom happened, they didn't take advantage of growing new players.
I mean, I think they did it a little bit. Like
But they did
I remember the earlier days of fifth edition, and
like they should
when
have.
it popped off, they did try to capitalize. Like they had constant Twitch streams. They had like Chris Perkins doing big live streams.
I got
Like, they were trying it.
Like not what I'm saying. Like I'm talking about like an advertisement like Crossfire. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Okay, so with the wild, like they didn't push and put like they didn't build a foundation for new players to come in.
Well, they didn't think that new players were going to come in. They thought that it was going to be a fourth situation where this is going to be a $25 million product. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so they just didn't care. And then when fifth went crazy, they kind of were caught with their pants down.
Yeah, they could have made a different choice, and things would. I think that they would still be the profits would still be increasing instead of going the other way.
I think the only way they could increase profits is to make a real new edition, not a rehashing of fifth edition.
Yeah,
But that's going to alienate part of a large section of their player base. Does not care about anything but fifth edition and will not play anything but fifth edition. And that's the problem is they've garnered that sort of that's their clientele, and that's the worst possible clientele to have for this industry because sixth edition, like if they did some drastic changes, is probably just going to push people away.
But Joe, what if they did like a Final Fantasy crossover and a Lord of the Rings crossover and a Warhammer crossover?
Well, so there's already a Lord of the Rings 5th edition. What's one of the issues with the OGL is that you don't have to do it with Hasbro. Hasbro doesn't have to get a cut of it. You can do it yourself. So Final Fantasy, who owns that, Square Enix or whoever, they can make their own book for it and just put 5e on it and use the OGL, and they get all of the profits. That's what happened with Lord of the Rings. I mean, I think that it would make a lot more money if they could actually get licenses. I think they kind of have the Star Wars license because Asmodee owns it. It's why isn't there 5th edition Star Wars out right now? I mean, it would sell absolute hotcakes. Yeah. It'd be stuff like crazy.
So I'm going to say something, and Kristen's going to turn her camera off here for a second. But I mean, why don't they just take the Magic approach and make it Fortnite the tabletop game? Magic made it Fortnite the card game.
That is the issue, but once again, the OGL makes it so that if you want to use your IP on it, you don't have to ask them. You can just make a 5e book about your IP and get all the money, versus Hasbro getting 90% to write it.
Right, but I mean, with Hasbro as the parent company, I mean, Hasbro has rights to the stuff that they've put in Magic, not Wizards. Wizards doesn't have the rights. The parent company always has the rights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've got the fucking rights.
They have the rights to the card game because people cannot penetrate the card game market the way that they can penetrate the 5e market.
Right.
The
But I'm
5e
saying
market has a ton of third party.
it's another phone call and another sit down, but
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is I don't know why they're not using what they already have at their fucking disposal to do something different.
Well, because those
clearly
role playing
the
game
full
licenses
magnification-
are already kind of unfortunately tied up, and they get tied up for a very long time. Like they could get tied up for 10 years plus with a company. So like Warhammer is already tied up. Like you can't until that license is freed, they can't do anything. They can't make another role playing game because they're already have exclusivity with that. Like Marvel, a lot of these IPs already have exclusive licensing deals with other companies. That are
I can
smaller
think of one
companies.
brand that doesn't have exclusive tabletop licensing off the
SpongeBob?
top of my head.
SpongeBob.
That's not where I
Nobody
was
wants to
going,
play
but god damn it, if
SpongeBob,
you
yeah.
give me that, I'm fucking playing it.
You are
I'm
SpongeBob.
not playing. I'm not playing SpongeBob.
I'm so glad that you gave me a compliment for once.
But most of those IPs are tied up, is what I'm saying. So it's not as easy as the card game world, where realistically there is only Magic the Gathering in the trading card game space.
Yeah, because you get players smell bad.
And Lorcana isn't making the dent that everyone thought it would.
Yeah, they're moonlighting that.
Yeah. I mean, it really is just.
Well, I mean, my whole point is like, not that I'm trying to give Fortnite any fucking credit, because, I mean,
I fucking hate Fortnite.
They already
I hate that game.
IP infringed fucking PUBG, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, that seems to be the model, is make the big sandbox, and like, I get it, and Epic clearly puts down the fucking money, and I'm sure there's been licenses broken left, right, and fucking center.
Yeah.
Hasbro's got fucking money. Disney's got fucking money. I mean, not that I want to see them step on smaller companies, but I don't know why the fuck they're not.
I mean, like I said, they technically own the license to Star Wars right now. They should do Star Wars.
They should.
Yeah.
I mean, just from what I've been told by friends who play games and stuff, that Disney, in terms of like their Star Wars, they've been focusing so much on like the God, he was in Gotham, and he was in what is it? Shameless, the guy who's the main character in the Star Wars games. Yeah, the redhead, whatever the actor's name is, and he's like in the Star Wars games. It seems like they're focusing more on video games than they are with role-playing games, or like they're
That's
online.
understandable.
I mean,
but
they're
I've been told,
not fighting, or they're definitely not focusing for fucking good script writing for their television shows.
Yeah.
Cameron Monaghan, thank you. I knew his name was Cameron, but I couldn't remember his last name.
But my thing is like why wouldn't they make a tabletop? Because like the Star Wars tabletop, it's out there, but it's not getting the support it was 10 years ago. So it's time for a new one.
I think it's because a lot of people, and this is just my opinion on it, so take it with what you will. I think it's because when people think of role playing, they don't think of science fiction. They think of fantasy.
That's not true.
They like that. I mean, that's what I'm just saying. As my opinion, as someone who, when it comes to role playing and tabletop games, like they're thinking
if you're not
high fantasy. If you're not in the crowd,
if you're not in the crowd, but if you gave people the Star Wars RPG option.
mm-hmm.
I think Star Wars nerds, that would be their way in.
Yeah.
I
Like,
think
straight up.
that would be their way in.
That
Is
seems
like
rude.
I'd exclusively run Star Wars and nothing else.
Straight
See?
up, like
But that's my fucking world. You know what I mean? Like I fucking.
Yeah, Garby, that's what we were talking about last week. Was they
Yeah,
don't like
that's
the
what we
idea
said
of
last
being
week.
over there.
yeah.
So that's probably why, is because they don't want negative connotations directed about like their characters or
But that's not
their
true
IP.
because Kathleen Kennedy is still the president of Lucasfilm, and
Well,
I hate
no,
that bitch,
it's-
and I want her to lose her job.
Listen,
I
bro,
think-
like,
I think with Star Wars is a little bit different from the rest of the Disney lineup
mhm.
because they are trying to gear it more towards kids now. And
yeah,
it's not working. It's not working at all. It didn't work back when we were kids and fucking Phantom Menace came out and I saw Jar Jar Binks for the first time and I was like, I fucking hate this movie. Okay. I was like, this is terrible.
Fucking love Jar Jar Binks.
I love Jar Jar Binks, man. I love Jar Jar
What Jar
Binks.
Jar to you?
Fuck Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, I hate that.
Hold on. Can I
Yeah.
say something kind of off topic, but kind of on topic?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
go
we're
off.
cancel for me saying this, but I feel like Jar Jar Binks is the Star Wars universe equivalent of Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's annoying. He's
No, like
abrasive.
he's stuck his tongue in the fucking wave thing. Like, there's got to be a keeper keeping Donald Trump's tongue out of things. I promise you.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Probably.
yeah. There's definitely tongue watchers who do.
Okay.
who do
Well,
fake
like, here's the thing.
I bet it's a lot of batteries. Somebody licks batteries if you don't. If you don't,
This is my next coloring.
yeah. Put that shit away. Put that shit away.
Someone who literally just said, "I hate Jar Jar Binks," and you pull out a Jar Jar
I
Binks
say,
coloring
right next to it. Like, hello.
Wait, hold on.
book. Straight up.
Yo, I bought this from Hastings. Hold on. This came from Hastings. That's how old it is. I found it the other day.
You can't say that you hate Jar Jar Binks and then be like, "This is
Hashtag
my
RIP Hastings.
this is my next coloring book, guys."
No, it's sitting over on my desk because I found it in some old shit. Oh, I was going through Corbin's bookshelf, cleaning out his old books, and I was like, oh shit. But look at all
Straight up.
Hold on.
Oh my god. Oh, I love the Qui-Gon
Um,
Jinn one. He's my favorite.
Well, this was from the 90s.
Kristen, I support
Oh.
this decision. I just want to let you know that.
I didn't know, but I don't. I think he's Donald Trump.
But-
They're the same person.
Here's my thing. I think
No,
with
there's a
Disney
redemption
and
arc.
Star Wars is a different IP that can handle an RPG.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, they'll never touch Mickey Mouse.
No.
No.
They'll never touch Kingdom Hearts. You're not going to touch any of the main.
Which is crazy because
Wait.
Kingdom Hearts is a fucking tabletop RPG, and I don't give a shit what
Wait,
anybody
hold up.
says.
Yeah, but
Kingdom
like,
Didn't Kingdom Hearts pair up with someone though?
Disney.
No,
Smash
not
Bros.
Disney.
Oh.
The Super Smash.
Okay.
They just
maybe-
showing
Oh.
those
Swords
recently.
and
yeah,
Okay.
but like, they don't want people making their own decisions about
Mhm.
those characters.
They
But
don't want Mickey
There's
Mouse-
already been multiple Star Wars games. People are going to play Star Wars tabletop regardless because we've already got the games. I own Star Wars D6, and you know what? It's a great game. It's arguably one of the greatest games ever made. There's some people who still will like live and die by that game because you want to know why? Because it's A, Star Wars, and it's B, it's an easy game that has exploding dice mechanics. And it also has the source books which led to the extended universe. People don't realize that the Star Wars extended universe comes from the role-playing game, the OG role-playing game.
Mm.
So, like, all those books you read, the Clone Wars and all that, guess where that comes from?
Uh,
Star
was it-
Wars.
So
DC.
I'm gonna, as someone who used to work in a bookstore, I remember when they dropped the news stating that all of the books are now no longer not canon. Because they used to be
Yeah.
canon, and now they're like, no, these books don't exist in the actual timeline.
I didn't know
So-
about anything about that.
I remember being told that, and because I was going to get into reading the Star Wars books because I like Star
Yeah.
Wars, and I was like, you know what, I want to know more about the universe, and so I was trying to figure out the timeline because the books of this, because there's so many books that if you like opened up the books, it will show you where the book is in the timeline of things,
Yeah.
which is really cool. But then I remember when the news dropped and they're like, yeah, it was because the new Star Wars movies and the new like Star Wars cinematic universe and all the new movies. But it was when the new trilogy dropped when they decided that
and you know what?
that is outside of our movies and our TV shows that we've made are not canon.
And you know what?
Thank
I
God
think
for-
the last
thank-
3 movies are not canon, in my opinion. So fuck them. That's what I have to say.
Thank God for Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, because they have the nutsack to go, you know what? That kind of is canon, and we're going to put that in here.
See, like I grew up on Star Wars, and my family.
That's most of us.
My family is a Star Wars family. My mom went to go see the new trilogy in theaters. She went to go see like a couple of the originals when they were in theaters, and like I remember growing up and just loving Star Wars, and like straight up, like me and my brother had like a giant lightsaber collection. I am sad to say I don't know where it is now, but I feel like
Have you met my dog Padme?
to tie in to our topic, I do feel that if we like, if for instance, like they decided, you know what, let's start allocating resources into making a entire like our version of D&D, but make it Star Wars. I feel like they would have made so much money, because the one thing I know about the Star Wars fandom is that they are die hard for Star Wars.
Yeah, and they did. And they like the last Star Wars game made by Fantasy Flight Games. It's 3 different like sets that you have to get the full picture. So each of those core rulebooks is like $60. So it's $180 if you want to have like, you know, a Rebel Scout in the same group as a Jedi, in the same group as a Wookiee. You need to have $180 worth of books in order to do that. And so it was incredibly expensive, and it sold pretty well. But it had custom dice that you had to buy and all of that. And that's why I never bought it, is because I could never convince my group to spend $25 on a set of dice for a game that they can only use for one game.
But if it was like D&D level, like, you know, where like, you can go and buy whatever shiny click clacks you want.
They did that. Like there used to be a Star Wars D20 during the 3.5 days, and it sold pretty well. And you know, some people really like it. Some people really like that game. Yeah.
Yes, Kristen.
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you guys. But this is a serious question. Do you think that they've realized what we've all already realized, is that we have enough information to write our own shit? We don't need to keep buying it. Thinking from what we talked about like a few weeks ago about how like DMs take a lot of inspiration from other things. Like for instance, like I've known like people, like I've heard people say like, oh yeah, I got really inspired by The Witcher, and I really like this monster that they fought in the video game or in the books, and so I'm putting that in there. Or like, I really like this plot point in this TV show, so I'm gonna write a whole thing about that, or like things like that. I've seen like people do that. So like, it's not just like, you don't have to just buy the books. And so for instance, like you could literally like come up with anything from your noggin. So going along with what you said, Kristen, like I really do truly think that people are starting to slowly realize that they can come up with their own things, and it's probably, you can get so much inspiration from more than just the D&D core book. If I can read the monster manual and be like, okay, I understand how this is set up now. I understand the basic, you know, points to hit. I'm going to go take something off the TV and make fucking stat block for it.
I think you're a different type of GM than the 5th edition GM is. So, I mean, like, I think there are a ton of people who just want to be given a campaign and they can run it and play it and not have to write all that shit out. Because, yeah, they want it out of a can. They want it out of a can because D&D does that. And you could. They don't do it the best. Paizo arguably has the best campaigns out of a can because they literally hold your hand the whole way.
Right.
But I mean, like D&D will give you Curse of Strahd, and you can play that and have a time with it.
A time.
I didn't really enjoy Curse of Strahd. My DM at the time didn't enjoy Curse of Strahd that he was running in. But
I don't know.
I think there's a large population of people who aren't as creative, who still want to be a part of the gaming community and just want to just be given an adventure, given a player's handbook.
The drive-through RPG satisfies that part of it too.
What's that?
Drive-through RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people are writing these things. So I don't know if they just realized it wasn't no longer cost effective to.
Well, they don't have control over it. They don't make any money. Well, they do make money off of the vault.
No,
but
Hasbro realized that they're not going to make any more money because the people like us have realized that we can write our own shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like we were always kind of on the outside anyway.
Yeah.
We're not the target. We all have met by playing games that are not D&D.
Right.
The vast majority of 5th edition players don't play anything but 5th edition, and you cannot convince them to play anything other than 5th edition.
Right.
It's a different mindset altogether.
Okay.
And they like the ecosystem. It's like Disney. Disney has an ecosystem. They have a fenced garden.
Yeah.
That you could just live in and never have to escape.
Yeah.
And you could just live in that world. And that's what the whole D&D Beyond thing and the whole sigil thing and all that was for. It was for people to live in the the walled off garden of D&D and exclusive products of that. And there's a lot of people who would just enjoy it.
So then I
never have to make an original thought choice.
Yeah, because they don't have to, because it's like they would have enough content in front of them that they don't need it.
That's fair.
So then I guess to tie in Kristen's question into the second half of what we were talking about. So then would you rather have a DM or be the DM in the situation? So for instance, I've only DM'd once, so I can only say it from a player's perspective. Would you rather, if you're a DM, would you rather follow a campaign that is already written and it tells you here are the choices that you can give your players, and then whatever they do, it's basically almost like a choose your own adventure kind of deal? Well, I guess this is for everybody here who DMs.
I don't want that.
I think you're asking the wrong group.
Yeah, because I don't want that. Never want that.
Yeah, I don't ever.
Would you rather write something on your own?
Not even.
I would rather write something on my own. I write all of my own campaigns because I find that to be fun. So that's a huge part of the fun of being a GM to me is being able to write my own campaign.
Right. Well, and I would struggle. I would be honest, completely honest. I would struggle so much more having to follow a step-by-step guide instead of making my own choices and interacting with you in the way that I am.
Yeah, we're trash pandas. We don't work that way. We don't follow instructions. Fuck an instruction manual. Fuck you, IKEA, by the way. Fuck your furniture.
I fucking hate IKEA so bad.
They are ableist as fuck, by the way.
They really
They just assume you don't have ADHD and you can just do this. And it's like, you know what?
I can't look at the pictures and build this chair.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do that.
It's boring. I can't.
So I guess Grumpy, what you're saying, for people who pay you to run games and they play a pre-written campaign, I've never played a campaign where it's out of a module of for instance, I've never played the Curse of Strahd. I've never done any of the modules. I've never done anything like that. And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, even if I wanted to say oh, I'd love to play the Curse of Strahd, but I want my DM to make their own creative liberties. Because again, if I'm going to do something that goes off the fucking rails, and that's not
you would try to romance Strahd. I know you would. Because he is a brooding, hopeless romantic Like that is who he is. You
That
would
is
go
fucking
for
bread and
him.
butter right there.
Like,
My
he's
heart
like-
just skipped a beat.
Yeah. See, like I like this is like part of being experienced at GMing is like I would already know that you're going to do that
I
and
think
just
it
plan
would
that
de-
into the game.
I think
know
it
what I
would depend upon the character that I make, if I'm being quite honest. I get so into my character decisions that I tell the DM, hey, I want to do this, but I need the dice roll to see if it actually happens that way. Because I straight up, like, I get so into my characters that I don't like deviating from the path.
Wait, you have a plan?
I do. I always plan on how my characters
What's
act.
that like?
It's,
Yeah.
listen, that's why
Okay.
I say I'm like, maybe I'm not ADHD because I can think shit through. and
Yeah,
not
we're
just
vibes
react.
based. We do everything based on vibes. Like,
It is
like there's
vibe
no-
only. Like,
yeah,
no.
I
yeah.
like to plan my characters of like, okay,
Wow.
like I like to plan certain things. But like basically, like, yeah, I'd make Strahd one of the worst boyfriends in history. Lee
I will
Sean
re-
Green
I will
doesn't
create
bring
freedom.
home food for you when he gets it. A deeply selfish lover. Okay, listen,
Yeah.
that's just your version of Strahd,
You
baby
can't
boy.
call my
Super
ex.
romanticizes shit out of that.
Listen, just because you're describing all of my other exes doesn't mean I'm still not attracted to Strahd.
She can fix him. She can fix him.
I can fix him if I made the right character.
I will build a character, and then the next session I'll turn and be like, "Who the fuck made this character?" Because it wasn't me.
Straight up. Listen, I was the girl that immediately gunned for Astarion in Baldur's Gate 3. Like,
I know I know that.
Zoe, you're
I-
not surprising anybody here, girl.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
We
Like,
knew.
that's obvious.
Straight
I'm trying to
up.
romance.
I knew the first time I played BG3 and Astarion came on. I was like,
Oh, there's
oh,
Zoe.
okay. Zoe's not getting to Act 2 for a while.
No, I was like, I didn't play Baldur's Gate 3. When did it drop? In like August of 2022?
Something like that.
And then I didn't play until like maybe like October. And so like I just saw thirst trap after thirst trap of Astarion, and I was just like, I need this fucking game in my life. But yeah, straight up. But yeah, I guess talking about like the whole like the DM player expectations, I guess we could tie that in with like the campaigns and stuff. And
Oh yeah, I mean, like
what would you
personally,
well, like? What do
I
you want
like
out of
to
the
just-
campaign? I guess is my
I want
question.
the players to have fun. I want everyone to have a blast. That's my number one goal: is make a cool story and have fun.
Well, I told you
Yeah.
with Mitchell. I was like, I want a story you want to go home and tell your friends about.
Yeah, and that's really it. Like that's. I don't try to. I don't want anybody. I'm not trying to like, impress anybody with my games. I'm not a professional writer. You know what I mean? Like I know that, and I've read a lot of professional writers' modules that are like, this kind of sucks. So that's why I have the confidence to do my own, because it's like, you know what? At least I'll remember all the stuff that I write down because I
Mhm.
wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like expectations for like players, here's what I tell my players, and I'll see what you guys think about this.
Mhm.
Tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you what to roll.
Ooh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I expect out of my players, is that they know what they want to do. They know who their character is. Fundamentally, they know what they want to do. They don't have to know all the rules. They don't. Like I have players who have been playing for multiple years to multiple campaigns who don't have a huge grasp on the rules, and I don't really care because they know that if they say I want to gouge this motherfucker's eyes out, I'll give them the roll,
Yeah.
and then they will just. And I think that creates the best because it just makes people act right. Like they don't feel like, oh, I have to know what they're doing or I can't do anything. It's just like
yes, and.
I want you to act. I want you to do something, and then it will happen, and the world will react to it, and that's all that matters. If you want to get deep into the rules, go for it.
I
But
have a
if
question.
you don't,
Okay.
So I, as one of the few only players surrounded by a bunch of DMs, how do you guys feel about players needing to stick to or being loosey-goosey with like their alignments? Because I know like some DMs are like, you can say whatever alignment you are, just act however you would want your character to act.
I
And
think
then there's
it
other
depends
DMs
on the
who are
player.
like, I need you to be, if you are saying that you are lawful neutral, you need to be lawful neutral the whole
So,
time.
Let me
I
get
think
in
it
on this
depends on
one.
the player. I think it depends on the player. If they're new, give them alignment as a guide. If you're playing a lawful good character, I do think you need to stay within those bumpers. But I also don't give a shit. I don't play games with alignment very often.
I have a thought on this.
Mm-hmm.
There's at my tables, there's really like 2 lanes you can go with this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joe said, the more beginner experience doesn't know what they're doing player, I would much
Yeah,
rather
but
them
those-
stick to an alignment. I don't care what it is. I just want you to
Yeah.
stick to it because I need your character to happen.
Yeah, and if they don't know what
Or-
they're doing, they'll turn into a chaos goblin.
Yeah.
They'll turn
And,
into a
I mean,
chaos goblin.
Yeah, anyway.
It's bad enough like at poor Kristen's table where she has fucking 8 fucking chaos goblins at one time.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
If you're a new player, you've never played Chaos Goblin, probably isn't game 1 for you, right? If
Yeah.
you can and you can pull it off, great. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Second lane is
That makes me a chaos goblin.
I don't mind when a more experienced player comes to the table with a character, and
Yeah.
let's say they're lawful neutral, right?
Mhm.
Whatever. I mean, it's pretty safe bet, right? They're gonna play
Yeah.
it safe. But in their mind, as the campaign goes on and on and on, and I'm not talking like a 4-week one shot. I'm talking like, one of these
Yeah,
multi-year campaigns like we've been playing. If they have
Yeah.
a character arc
That's way more
that
important than
stays
any-
true
Yeah.
to the character, but like
Mhm.
the character has an ongoing arc, and wherever that arc goes, the alignment goes with it. I don't
Yeah.
mind that at all. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Show me that I'm not the only storyteller here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
That's
to
I
me-
love
I
complex.
like.
complex
To me
characters.
that makes sense because like for instance like when we were playing our game and Joe was gonna set Saturday on fire, I was like, I don't care if this is gonna piss off Mashuka, I'm gonna stop him by stabbing
Yeah.
him. Like
Yeah.
this has to
Mhm.
happen. And
Yeah.
like my character I guess would technically be lawful good if we want to be anything, but that's why I always like playing chaotic neutral characters, because then I can be as fucking chaotic as I want and be able to do what I need to do, but still do it for good reasons. You know what I
But see,
mean?
but to defend your exact point, Joe had a plan from day
Yes,
one.
he had a plan from day one, but I'm just
He had
saying,
a plan
like,
from day one.
but like, you know what I mean?
You
Like,
have
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
an alignment where, I mean, yes, technically your character is about to do something that is not quote unquote lawful good, but if you take
Mhm.
big picture into focus, it is a
exactly.
lawful good thing to do.
Like, if
you are
I'm-
preventing a human sacrifice,
If I'm
literally.
sitting there and
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm
Mulder.
like I'm
Mulder.
sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, like, what if Kristen was the DM of like, no, I'm sorry, like you can't stab Ludwig
I would never
because
not allow
that's
that.
not your character alignment.
Mhm.
But
I would
love,
never not
I
allow
love
that.
the consequence of sorry, you can't use your powers anymore because you did
It's
something
not-
against
it's-
your goddess.
See, you don't say no, then you say yeah,
Yeah,
but here's
exactly.
the consequences.
But
Yeah.
I've had DMs tell me, sorry, you can't do that. That's not in your alignment. And I'm just like,
Yeah, that's
what do you
boring.
mean? If
You-
I'm
you
pushed,
You
if
just
I'm
want-
pushed to my limit, that makes sense
Yeah.
for this character.
Look,
yeah,
as a human
yeah.
being, I am chaotic neutral through and
Every
through.
I've
My
think-
alignment changes. throughout the day, depending on my fucking
I
mood.
think that's why I always play chaotic neutral whenever there's like an alignment system and the DM's like, I need you to pick an alignment. I always go chaotic neutral so I can do what I need to get the fuck done.
It also like with paladins, for example, like you want your paladin to be lawful good all the fucking time. Like that's
unless they get pushed.
When that motherfucker snaps and turns, and then now all of a sudden you have a player big bad on your fucking hands. Like that is some
86 damage.
Yeah, that's some great fucking storytelling right there. But they have to earn it. And that's like what I tell my players at my tables is, listen, I these are the things I need from you. I need you to trust me because I'm going to trust you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I need you to come to like my tables that play at my house, like my friends, right? Yeah. When you walk through my front door and we've all cracked a fucking Mountain Dew Baja Blast and we got the snacks and the fucking, as soon as the recap has started, I don't give a shit what you're going through. I don't give a fuck what happened at work. I don't care what happened Monday through fucking Friday. Saturday at 8 p.m. is fucking game time. And I need you in your fucking character. You affect, if you have a fucking bad mood, you're going to affect 6 other people. Yeah. And these people are all here to let loose and let go. So I need you here. I need you in character. I need you focused. And I need you to play your character, however you see the character. Yeah. Like, for instance, towards the end of our big cinematic campaign that I did, like what I called the greatest campaign ever, right? It's in my fucking Google Drive. Rain was not liking her character direction, right? And she was like, she goes, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I just don't know that I'm having fun with this character. And I was like, okay. She goes, but I'll derail the whole campaign if we just kill the character and I make a new one. I said, that's not your job. That's my job. If you don't like the character, baby girl, we'll kill that bitch and we can roll you another one. And she went from fucking satyr bard to a fucking chrono mage. And it's like, okay, I can fuck with this because now we can do all kinds of crazy shit. And her literal character change is the whole fucking reason that we went from Baldur's Gate to fucking Noah and friends tripping through the fucking multiverse. Because I have a fucking chronomancer, I can do shit now. Yeah. Like we can open some shit up and we can trip down the space-time continuum and it's in story. So, like,
I mean, it'd be like we want to say yes, and we're generally just going to look at it as more toys to play with, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, so like,
and it also gave me an excuse to buy Spelljammer.
Yeah.
So, like, you were gonna stab Joe. If that's what your character's gonna do, that's what your character's gonna do. My response was for your god.
Yes. Yeah. But like what I'm talking about, it's not only just like PvV from what Grumpy is saying. Like I'm talking about like what if like for instance like you're like dealing with like the big bad and then the big bad kills someone, kills Boblin the Goblin or whatever. And fuck then you just
as a GM, fuck Boblin the Goblin.
Boblin the Goblin, we all know this.
But also like, we love Boblin the Goblin.
But like what if like I'm using that as like a placeholder. Like what if this is like your best friend of the campaign? Like everyone has that best friend in the campaign. And like the GM is like, all right, I killed off this NPC. What are you gonna do about it? Oh, I'm gonna be lawful good about the situation. And no, like I feel like in that situation, I would be like, fuck your hoes. We're scorched earth in this baby. Yeah. I'm gonna kill every motherfucker that comes in my way. And I should be allowed to do that.
Well, but see, I also think once again, you in those situations, you have to zoom out, right? Mm-hmm. And go, okay, is this really a fucking lawful good to chaotic evil switch, or is it
just lawful good?
You have murdered somebody that we care about. This is
Avenging their death.
Exactly.
Like to put it in 7C, which is like my main problem with 7C, and you've heard it fucking come out of my mouth 1,000 fucking times. It's extremely hard for a player like me to stay in that. Can't do that. Or you're gonna be a villain. Got to do good guy shit, right?
Up.
Like I like to play in the gray. You know what I mean?
The Han Solo, if you will.
I like playing that too.
Yeah,
I like playing the light, morally gray character. I like playing the character who wants to help people, but knows that I need to get shit done.
I like
for instance, like Saturday. Saturday never did anything technically evil, but boy, did he do some fucking weird, dastardly shit to do the good shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're zooming out and looking at it big picture, like, and that's what I had to do it constantly in 7C is, okay, is this villainous or am I justified in this action? Because we're playing in that system, and I didn't want Saturday to be the villain, right? I wanted him to be part of the crew. So it's like, okay, I could do this, but that would violate the game system. That would also technically violate the character, because Saturday's not a bad guy. He's just a fucking idiot bard, you know?
Yeah.
Who likes confectionery as much as Captain Ludwig. So, you know, he loves dark chocolate, and he's not afraid to say it. But, like, you know... You have to, like I said, perspective is kind of everything when it comes to that. And I think
and also
a lot of players,
can ignore
a lot of teams
the rules.
lose that.
Like, I did not give a fuck about the whole heroic villainous thing when I made Luke. I didn't make Luke. He was literally a template. But when I was playing him, I was just like, what would this idiot do in this situation?
Just go mad with power.
yeah. And then, like, Kristen was like, early on, she was just like, do you want to align with the evil girl? Do you want to be friends with Victoria? And I was just like, absolutely. And so, I went at it from, like, who is this guy? And I don't think about alignment or being heroic or being villainous. I'm just thinking about, what is this idiot going to do in this moment? Yeah. And he would do generally the stupidest thing possible because he was stupid.
Well, what's one thing I tell you all the time in 7C when we play? I'm like, heroes don't waterboard, but they do keelhaul.
I mean,
right.
Like,
but you could argue that heroes do waterboard because if it's saving...
I'm being quiet on this one.
Like, if it saves a battalion of soldiers by waterboarding one POW, I mean, it's a gray area, but I'd say it's good. And I know that's not like a lot of people's opinion. I'm far left politically, so like, you got
Joe sounds like my AIT instructor all over again.
Yeah, like I'm sort of like, it's a worthy sacrifice.
Right, but
I know not everybody thinks that way. But
the GM in that game is also morally gray. So, like, I'm like, I can understand that. That makes sense to me. As long as you can explain it to me where it's like, yes, it's a villainous action, but it's not for a villainous purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Okay, so then I guess another question that I would have would be thinking outside of, like, thinking in terms of, like, alignment, knowing your character, knowing the system. How long would you as GMs expect your players let's say it's like fresh, brand new players, and how long would you expect them to know their characters, to understand the system, and to understand how your world works?
So they're done.
I guess in 3 phases of, like, difficulty, easiest being knowing their character.
I would say that I don't put a time limit on it because, like, people are different and they want different things out of the game. I don't expect them to ever know the system fully. Mm-hmm.
I don't fully know the system.
Like I said, it's kind of my job, like to just tell you what to roll, right? And so that I kind of like. I understand that it takes a lot of bandwidth to learn these systems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to use that bandwidth because it's a hyper focus of mine. That I will read this book and learn it. But like when it comes to your character and your character's motivations, it's gonna kind of happen no matter what. Because based on like I'm going to put you in situations where you're going to have to make a character defining decision,
Right?
and because that's my job, and that's what keeps campaigns interesting.
Right.
And so,
Is I like to give everybody their what I call their superhero Act 3 moment, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody gets like their own moment, right? This is it's the fucking second or third film in the series, and it's the big climactic arc, everything, and you fucking do the thing.
Yeah.
And then I have what I like to call Avengers moments. Okay, you've all had your individual moment.
Yeah.
Now what happens when Thanos is at the fucking gate and it's you, Cap, and fucking Thor standing there? Everybody else is defeated. What are you gonna do here? Like, so I mean,
yeah, and I like there's different levels. So like, there are players who will just know who their character is.
That is a good one, Grumpy. Yeah,
yeah.
The girls get a down moment.
Yeah, like there are players who know what their character is and can just do it. There are players who are a little more intimidated by the entire situation going on. There's a lot of eyes on you. And they don't really know the world or the system. And it's like, well, the world, I will generally have like either like a little slide thing or like a 1 or 2 page write up to make it easy for them to get to the world. But I don't expect them to know everything about the world because I just want we build our on session 0 we build like a little town together or something, or maybe like a little traveling carnival, whatever. That is their little regional area that they know of and they know everything about because they are making it up, and that helps it out a lot too because
I like that.
we're all building together.
Mm-hmm.
And the less they know about the rest of the world, the better for me because then it's more of a surprise and it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's not stuff that they haven't experienced before. Now, you do have players who know everything about the world and will expect something specifically from you, but that's rare. But I will bring out the character in your character just by making you make those
whether
decisions.
you want it to come out or not.
Yeah. Because I know it's hard, especially for new players, to really get a cool concept going. Like us as players, we're immediately just like, oh, I'll play this. I'll take this stupid thing and this stupid thing, smash them together. Now I'm going to play this guy. I don't really care about his stats. In fact, I hope his stats are fucked up. And I want to go in there and I am going to play a very flawed person in some way or another. Was that? Yeah, all of my characters are fucked up.
I joked with Kristen that the next time she runs a game that I'm creating a fucking palabard.
A palabard.
Just so that.
Oops, all palabards.
Oh, yeah. Don't spoil the concept? Okay. Okay, so I won't do that. But like, there's a fucking reason behind it, but mainly the reason is
charisma base.
Mainly the reason is because I want to dip more into the fucking like more serious character side and play with that a little bit while still being able to crack a little fucking jokey joke here and there.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But not with a paladin sense of humor, because who the fuck wants that?
I gain the courage, baby. When I decide to finally run, I plan on doing it in 5e. So there's that.
We're here for you.
It.
But
I mean, Joe won't play, but I will.
Wait, so hold on,
Listen.
my job is to supply you the scenery and the bad guys. That's the only thing I'm here for.
Yeah.
So the world and the bad shit. That's the encounters. Whatever,
Yeah.
however the world's reacting to you, that's my job. And however you want to play your character, I could give a shit less if your character was like Little Red Riding Hood at the beginning and turns into fucking Maleficent. I don't give a shit.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want to watch you grow, and I want to watch you have fun.
Good storytelling.
But
Yeah.
if you aren't, if you're at a point where it's 8 sessions in, and you still are not understanding the world, and you still are not understanding how to interact with your fellow players, I've done a bad job of creating a safe enough space for you to learn that.
Yeah.
And that's my bad.
Yeah.
So we need to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation about what you need out of this and how I can better communicate with you, or how I can make you feel safer, because you're not learning organically.
Yeah.
So like I would give it to you as an example like this. So like we didn't stream any of the Fallout, right?
Yeah.
But when
Which I'm glad we did. I'm glad we did.
Yeah,
There's
me
a
too.
lot of things said and done.
Right. But like I'm saying,
what happens if Fallout stays in Fallout?
I'm saying the session that I came into the game on, right? If I would have started doing,
I appreciate that, Grumpy. Thank you.
if I would have started playing Lando the opposite fucking way of the way I played him game 1, that's a completely different game and scenario. I mean, I'd have been PvP and fucking Joe and Natalie week 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. And you would have lost because Natalie was brutal.
Natalie will fuck you up.
Right. But I'm saying, like,
Brutal.
but I'm saying
She
if
would cave your skull in.
but like you take Lando at week 1 and then versus a year and a half later where I'm shooting a woman in the fucking leg who we've just B&E'd her house for whatever the fuck reason it was. I forgot.
It was on the way. It was on the way.
On the way.
It was on it was on the way. No, she fucking shot my rad roach or something.
She wouldn't let him in the house.
Yeah, wouldn't let him in the house, and it made me angry because I had my 3 fat rad roaches. Doesn't matter. But I'm saying, like, if I'd have done that week 1, that's a different game. That's a different character. But over the course of a year and a half, and Kristen let me, by the way, really good job of letting me fucking play out the character. Like, notice there's not one fucking time where I let anybody in on Lando's fucking backstory. It was bit by bit by bit by bit over a year and a half. And then everybody's like, oh, he's just a piece of shit. Okay, got it.
Like no, I mean, like we knew. Like the first sister, you're just like Florida. It's like, oh man, he's with the Florida. He's
he's the Florida man.
Yeah, so it's like, but like the moment with Lando and Kazar at the fucking end when we shut it off, like that doesn't happen if Lando just fucking starts going wild. You have to have it doesn't matter if you do it, you just have to have some fucking gumption behind it to make it work. And like that's what I would tell my players is like I'm not gonna say, okay, no, you can't fucking do this, right? Like if
unless it's literally like Acme level bullshit,
right? But like if Joe goes, I'm gonna fucking shoot Zoe, right? I'm gonna go,
why?
First, I'm gonna go, okay, that means I'm thinking, and then I'm gonna take 30 seconds, and I'm gonna go, okay, why? Then when you tell me why, I'm gonna go, okay, we're here. We're going to do this.
I would ask Zoe if she's okay with it first.
See,
as an over-the-table thing for PvP.
I wouldn't, because this is one of those situations, like this situation in particular is one of those where I'm fudging the dice rolls from behind the fucking screen, and I'm going to take it out of the player's control at that point, and just I'm going to give you, okay, here's breadcrumb number 1. Let's see what happens. Where does this progress? Where does this progress? And if I can find a way to where everybody kind of meshes and can take this one little thing and build it out into something, and I can see where that's going, I'm going to let it play out. If it's not, I'm going to put a fucking stop to it, and then I'm going to pull Joe to the side next week, and be like, okay, listen, I see what you were trying to do. It didn't work. Let's table that idea until we have something that we can work with.
I would never shoot for no reason, but let's say I had a clear reason in the moment. I still think I should have permission before I kill off another player's character at the table, potentially. But then if she's just like, you know what, screw it, yeah, like I hate you, you hate me, let's do this. I would, as a GM, I would step back and be like, you know what, you both agreed to this. Go for it. Like, this is going to be interesting. It's a great story we're about to tell, and somebody's about to get fucked up. It'll probably stop before they die. But
right,
I've actually been in PvP at the table before. Once it was for like maybe it wasn't the greatest, but he initiated it, and he was trying to kill me, and then I fucked him up because he didn't know how flying works in 5e. Like, I have flying and Eldritch Blast. You're a fucking barbarian. I am going to destroy you.
Yeah.
And I did.
But like I said, like my thought is, once again, it takes back to what I originally said. Like, I'm going to trust you to play your character.
Yeah.
I need you to trust me with the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, okay, yeah, you want a PvP Zoe. Cool. Fucking, we're going to see where it goes.
Yeah.
If it's not going, I'm putting a stop to it. Like,
yeah. If she's like, no, I don't want this, then it's
right.
like, no,
but like,
it's not happening.
And like, once again, like if Joe walked into the house and he had a shitty attitude and something bad happened and he's just, fucking saw Zoe first, and you know what? I'm doing fucking combat tonight, and that's what it is. Like, I'm gonna go, hey, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's pump
if
the
you're
fucking
having
brakes
a
on
really
this.
bad day, I'd rather you just stay home.
Yeah, why don't you sit this one out, and then we'll let you know what happens. Don't worry, your character's asleep, and Jennifer's carrying you on her back.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair though, hold on. There was one time I was in the last campaign I played in. There was a guy that above the table in the real world was actively and inappropriately hitting on me and sending me messages I didn't appreciate after I numerous times told him to stop. But before I got the GM involved, my character would all the time push him downstairs to face check whatever was at the bottom of the stairs. That was because I didn't have another way to react because I still wanted to play the campaign. And then I told the GM and the campaign ended up that.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me personally, like, that would be like a nightmare as a GM, because I would want the player to tell me if somebody's doing that creepy shit.
And I told him, but then like the next session, like he called it off. He called the campaign off.
Yeah, but that's just how it is for some. But I would just be like, that guy's gone. We continue to play. We've had that in our groups, you know. It's just like, this dude's not here.
Yeah, we have.
Clearly, no, I wasn't. I wanted him to be into the floor.
Yeah, like we've had it where it's just like, this dude doesn't exist in this group anymore.
I've killed 2 characters and from my
we killed off 2 characters. One just like he disappeared and never returned. The next one we were like, okay, we turned an entire episode into a
retcon.
We take it back 10 feet just to move it forward 2 feet. And then it was like, okay, we figured out how to kill this character, guys. See you next week. Like, that's how it was.
Yeah, we spent a whole session doing retcon.
And then you just say
that's
deuces.
how it was. We had to spend an entire fucking session to retcon someone dying because they were an asshole.
Yep.
Hey, I mean, you gotta handle it the way you gotta handle it. just say deuces and move on. That's
And
another thing I would
we
say for
got
other
Thanks to me
GMs
and
out
Kristen's
there.
Snapchat feed, it almost got handled with a fucking Glock.
It almost did.
We got so fucking like complicated with it. We were like, okay, what if they were inside the grave and then they popped their head up for a second, and then Saturday didn't realize that it wasn't this person, and then that person got their head chopped off. How do we feel about that? And then everyone was like, we good with that? We good with that? Okay, but how does that narratively make sense? And they were like, oh yeah, right. We got to make sure it narratively makes sense. That's how you knew like everyone was so serious in this moment, because we're like, we need to make sure this makes sense because we were the murder hobos.
That was
We
probably
had
the
to make it
session we
make
got the
sense.
most done ever in.
Oh yeah.
We got so much shit done.
How
that
do we get
episode.
rid of that motherfucker?
Well, let's be honest, though, like I am so like my number one like table safety is paramount to me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Everyone at my
yeah.
table has to be safe. I have to feel safe. Y'all have to feel safe, and it's my job to make sure that happens.
And if
And
that's not the
when that
case,
We have to fix it. So we
Yeah.
did.
We fixed it so good.
It's
Had a
just
I
great
think
time
if you're
doing it.
going to
I think
be
the
GM,
first one
you
we
have to
blew
be
up.
assertive.
Yeah.
Like you have to be assertive as a GM, and you have to be willing to say, "I don't think you're the right fit for this group."
right. Well, and if I
And
can't
that's okay.
if I can't provide a safe place for the people to do the game I promised them, then I
Mhm.
fucking failed. That's my
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah, and it's like
I
I'm
mean-
not going to let one person ruin it for everybody else.
I'm going to take this exact situation and link it back to our last session of the 7C game, okay? If that exact character...
Can I ask what is scaly?
No.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope,
I don't want to know.
Nope.
No.
I'm
Okay.
saying-
Is that like when you guys taught me about what Rule 34 was? And
Yeah, I
was
feel like that's under Rule 34.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay, I get you.
So, like, the character
so
that
weird.
Zoe and I personally had a hand in murder hoboing out of existence via retcon.
yeah,
If
straight
that
up.
character was there a couple weeks ago when we played our last session, that could not have happened.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
really?
Like,
It could not have happened. It would have been hijacked. There would have been some name calling. There definitely would have been like laughter at things that shouldn't have been laughed at,
Oh,
right?
that's
Because
yeah,
I'll go ahead and break the fourth wall. Like part of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
whole fucking end of Saturday's character was me personally working through some shit, right?
Mhm.
That couldn't have fucking happened at
Mhm.
all, period.
Yeah,
So like it's one of those things where like and not all games are gonna have people like working through some, not everybody fucking
Mhm.
treats tabletop like therapy, right? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't normally. I had started to. It's been fucking cool and
It
great,
is
and I
so
like
much
it.
fun when you do
Right?
it that way, bro. It's so
Because
much
then I
fun.
can still fucking work through it, but also like mask on, hide behind some shit, right? So it's all
Nothing
good.
cost me that you're safe enough to do that at my table, and thank you so much for
Yeah.
saying that.
Right.
Yeah,
I
that's great.
fucking
I'm saying-
love doing that shit, man. It's
Yeah,
my
but I'm
favorite
saying, like,
thing.
As a GM, if somebody is trying to do that, you have to fucking let them do that. Like say like
Yeah.
I don't know if fucking now I don't know if you're working through some shit with the fucking, was it the Maxon? Fuck, I don't remember his name.
It was Elder
I'm a-
Maxon that
The vertibird scene.
Yeah.
I think Maddie just really hated the lore for Elder
Yeah.
Maxon.
yeah.
She's a
Right.
lore fan of
So-
Fallout. She was just like, "Fuck this dude."
But I'm saying
And
like
I am with her on that. I was 100% behind.
I
her
didn't
on that.
know, it wasn't my place to fucking ask, but I knew it was a moment and it was time for Noah to shut the fuck up, sit in the
Yeah.
back seat and let somebody else take the fucking wheel, right?
Yeah,
And when your players are doing that, and then, you know, like if I would have acted like fucking Saturday during that moment, like Kristen would have been well within her right to go, hey, shut the fuck up.
fuck up. Yeah,
And I
yeah.
would have said it too.
Yeah.
I
And
think
if you
my
don't
favorite,
like it, fucking leave.
my
like-
favorite thing about killing off that character was that every single person had a spot of doing something horrible to that character. because we were all like towards the end of that, we were all like, this guy is doing some questionable shit. Like
There was
we're
some
a bunch of
desecration
murder.
involved.
We're murder hobos, but he straight up kidnapped a girl, and we were like, bro,
What?
like this ain't cool.
Yeah,
he
it was like-
kidnapped a 12-year-old, and he's like, this is my kid. now.
Oh,
And we were like, the fuck? And then he's
Oh.
like, and now you know what? I'm not wearing clothes anymore. And we're like, okay, this guy has to die.
call the police. Like I don't fuck with the cops at all. So
I
if this
think
dude's
it was-
role playing this out, you need to call the cops. Check that
Straight up,
motherfucker's basement.
Like, I think Noah took off his head. I think I stabbed him in the chest. I think
And this is
Sean,
17 are their heroes, by the way.
this was 17. I think Adam like cut off his feet, and I'm pretty sure Sean cut off his dick and balls. So like,
I would send an anonymous message into the authorities.
It's giving that scene in Office Space like when they're all taking out the printer. Just
Yeah,
Millie goes ham.
yeah.
like
Yeah.
straight up, like I think we were even dealing with someone like who was our villain, but they weren't a villain. So Kristen was like, "Yeah, they're letting you take the time to." do it."
Yep.
I mean, like, at
And
that
I quote,
point,
no, and I quote Kristen. That's good. She ain't going anywhere.
That's because the guy just killed someone, and we're like, "Hold up, we got to deal with this first, bro."
like, now you good.
God, that
It
is.
took us a whole hour and a half to fucking plan how we killed this guy, and it just made the most sense. And we're like, okay, we did this in the last session. We got to make sure this is incorporated somehow. Like, it was the most thought out kill.
It was the most organized I've ever seen my table be.
Like,
we were
There's
on
just
it.
things like you guys ever had. You remember secrets? You remember having secrets?
Uh-huh.
Like sometimes secrets should stay secret.
Yeah.
Like I remember those, and I appreciate when people keep shit a secret. You know what I mean? Like at the
there was
table,
a lot
I
of
know it's an open, fun environment, but
Yeah.
there's certain things you still keep a secret. Like
No, like at first it was like, okay, like this is all fun and games. Like this guy's just cracking
It
jokes
turned
like this.
fast.
And it turned so fucking quick. Like that guy was with us for maybe like a month and a half, and then he was gone.
Yeah, but like that, as soon as that happened, like the next session, it was done. Like there was no more.
Yeah.
yeah,
Kristen saw it. Kristen shut it down, and then we killed that character.
Yeah, we had the guy with the kidnapped kid for maybe like 2 sessions, and that was it. And then we were like, and then we set the child free, and she magically made it back home.
Yeah, which pissed me off because I tried to yeet that kid like for fucking 4 weeks. I was like, no, I know where this is going. I'm fucking yeeting this bitch into the fate.
We
like
kept
fucking-
trying to get rid of the kid.
run, bitch, run!
We kept trying to get rid of the kid, but the guy was like, "Nah, man, we're keeping her." And we were
It's
like,
like never go to a secondary location. Run! Get the fuck out of here!
"Straight up, bro."
Dude, I tried. Kristen will tell you, I tried so fucking hard to just stop it week
Yeah.
after fucking week
Yeah.
after
Straight
week. And I'm
up,
like,
it got to the point to where we split the party, and it was just Saturday and this other guy because
Yeah,
because the other 2 guys that were with us couldn't deal with him anymore.
yeah, they wouldn't.
And I straight up said, I was like, "We're splitting the party. This is fine. We can handle this."
See, I would have killed him. I would have
We did.
seen it as a heroic
We
act.
did.
to
Well,
kill
there
him.
were some more
did.
complicated issues at hand, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But
I don't.
had
I don't
to
know
do-
the full story. I
We
never
had to
learned
deal
the
with
full
some other
story.
shit
But
first.
it was okay. If I put him with Noah, I know Noah will not shut the fuck up when the 2 of them are sharing the stage, and he won't be able to do as much fucking damage to the rest of the table until we figure this out, where everybody is physically safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was like one
I
of
don't
those,
know
and
if
then
everybody is physically safe. We need to check this guy's basement. If this is what he's role playing, I'm just saying.
Listen, this was the one time that both Winter and Saturday were like on the same page of like, okay, we can't have him be in the same room. And I think at one point when we were in the Fae realm, I did steal his child, and he kept asking, "Where is my child?" And Saturday was like, "Oh, he's with Winter. Oh, we need to go find Winter. No, we don't. Let's go."
Nope, I'm fucking a Fae princess, motherfucker. Don't fuck this up for me.
Straight up, like it was like Noah and I never texted about any of this. This was all like telecommunicated through our brains. Like we were on it, man.
Full disclosure, that's why Noah's wife ended up being a cockroach. Was I needed to like change the trajectory of where this was fucking going. I was like, make her a buck. I don't fucking know.
Yes, because we knew if we took her along, it was gonna be bad too.
Oh yeah. A
So
player
that's
like
why
that.
I made
Yeah.
the joke that Noah's
damn.
character was a cockroach, and then the Fae Queen was like, "Oh, if he's a cockroach, then he deserves to have a cockroach wife."
It's like, light bulb.
Yeah,
No.
I'm straight up.
Like
Oof.
that was because
That's
my
rough.
table was no longer safe. Like it had to be changed. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everyone can feel comfortable enough to learn and grow and vibe.
Yeah.
And the
And
fact that
like,
the fact
Go
that
ahead.
it was like to the point of like where like I was the only other girl at the table, and I was like uncomfortable, and I never said anything because I was just like, like everyone else seemed comfortable with it.
So,
But when all of the other grown-ass men at the table who are old enough to be my fucking dads were
Watch
starting to,
it.
like we're also like, hey, like we're starting to get uncomfortable with this, like with the way that they were behaving and the way that their body language was like. I was like, oh, so it's not just me who's uncomfortable with the shenanigans that are happening right now. So that's
Oof.
why I'm like that's why I'm typically like vigilant when it comes to stuff like that. And that's why I do think like a player, I expect my GM to be like Kristen or Noah and okay to cut a bitch when needed.
Yeah.
Like,
And like, I think it's everybody's responsibility. It's like both players and GM. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like if one player at table and he's kidnapping little kids, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, dog, not around here, not around here, partner."
That's
Oh,
why
right.
I said like I can't have things happen to kids in games
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like it makes me uncomfortable. One, because I'm a teacher, but two, I'm a person with a conscience.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. that was
Well, like-
a lot of my situation too, Grumpy. Like I didn't get to play a lot because I was a girl and guys treated me a certain fucking way.
Yeah.
But
And, like-
this all goes back to expectations, right? Like the expectation is different when the five of us are playing versus if I find myself at the blackjack table and drunkenly stumble into the fucking BDSM convention next door and they're like, "Hey, you're wearing a D&D shirt. Do you want to run a game at our fucking bondage convention?" And I'm like,
This sounds like this has happened before.
I know.
it hasn't, but I'm hoping.
Just the way that it was just so casual, like.
But I'm
like
saying like that's why like you as Saturday I did fucking horny bard things, yes,
Yeah.
but it was always it wasn't okay, so I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna seduce this bitch and then we're gonna go, and I didn't fucking go into like great fucking detail. It
Yeah.
was like, no, I use come hither and I pull this character away from the fucking room.
And that would have gotten so
Yeah.
fucking boring.
Right, and it's like that's it. That's where it starts. That's where it stops. That's not what everybody's here for. I'm literally using the fucking bard ability of come hither. I'm going to remove a character from the field of play. Like, yes, was I playing a bard? Yes. Was I playing a Jenny prostitute?
Yeah.
Yes, but also that's not what y'all signed up for. That's not what I signed
Yeah.
up for. That's not what
Yeah.
Kristen signed up for. She didn't sign up for fucking Pornhub the tabletop, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's not what we're doing.
It's just a general rule of like, first of all, just think at all times: is this fun for everybody else around me?
Right.
Mhm.
Is this good for the story? And if it were reversed, would I want a player to be doing this to me?
Right.
See, as a person who loves to have romance for their characters, always.
I'm the exact opposite.
Whenever I've had the chance to have romance for my characters, I always make sure, 1, everyone else at the table is okay with it. 2, I make sure that if it is like a player and another player, which I've had where it's me and another player's character, I made sure the character was, 1, okay with it first. I was like, hey, like, and it wasn't me who said it. It was the other character. Like, hey, I think my character likes yours. And I was like, why? Like, my character and you have fought all the time. And he like explained why. And I was like, okay, let me think and talk to my character and I'll see. And then eventually I said, okay, like if it were to happen, like I'm okay with that. And then eventually those two characters did end up getting together. But if it's me and the DM, I always like to also talk to the table first of like, hey, like I'm going to ask the DM to eventually give me a partner. Are you guys okay if I flirt with the DM? And then if we were to have a like character moment of, you know, ooh la la, like it's not going to be on the table. It's going to be like fade to black, boom, like they kiss, fade to black.
Yeah.
Like I would hate to make another character or another player feel uncomfortable because the whole point of tabletops is to have fucking fun and to not feel uncomfortable with whatever the fuck is going on in your life at the moment.
Like, I don't want to know what your kinks are and shit like that. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I just like keep your secrets. If it's a secret outside the table,
I've played Monster Hearts before. I played Monster Hearts in a stream, and everyone fell in love with my character. I basically played Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Jesus Christ.
I played feminist Shaggy.
All right, Kristen, last word.
Sorry, Ed, just go back to the same game. I always kind of, after we play the session, though, I always try to do, like, for lack of a better word, an aftercare with you guys and check in and see how and what y'all wanted and what happened and tried to be a safe enough place that we could talk about it either publicly or privately. So I think that along with GMs expecting their players to be comfortable and to be interactive, players should expect their GM to be a safe place for them to play.
Yes.
Right.
So
on that note,
ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday night, and that means you've been tuned into the Degenerates with Dice Monday Night RPG podcast, coming to you live in living color from the internet's basement at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Didn't fuck it up that time, did I? No. You've had Joe. You've had Zoe. You've had Natalie, Kristen, and me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back next Monday night. Next Monday night. That's not a holiday, right?
No, Friday's a holiday.
No, Friday's a holiday. All right, remember, everybody for of the legal age, get red, white, and blackout fucking drunk. It's what the founding fathers would have wanted you to do before you blow shit up in your front yard. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we are fucking